Day 5, leaving Cabo, headed northbound. It's been pretty good so far. Yeah, so the night before, me and Dan had a good time at the Cabo Wabo, and we spent the night in Cabo, and Cabo is very touristy. There's a lot of Americans in Cabo. I think a lot of people go there just to say they rode all the way down, all the way up, right? Dan's an experienced rider, an experienced traveler, and he's got a pretty good system of his own already, so we just saw the sights that we wanted and we were making our way north. So I checked the mileage at the hotel. It's 1348.
Yep.
And that's from Vegas though.
Yep.
So I would say it's barely over 1,000 from the border down here on that east side.
Yeah.
Hola. Holy shit. They're doing surfboards, no wonder. Oh yeah. But we were heading up out of Cabo and we had to put our feet in the water. It looked like a pretty cool beach. So we ran over there to check it out, the Pacific Ocean there. Talked to a couple Americans. They're staying in the hotels over there. Looks like a pretty nice place. Super affordable, they said. So just some of the fabulous things that Baja has to offer. And we made our way into Todos Santos. It's very touristy as well. I don't know how far it is, maybe 50 miles from Cabo, but what a lot of people do that visit Cabo, they come up here to go shopping. It's a way to get out of Cabo and see a little more. A lot of shops, restaurants, custom unique stuff. Some people are making some pretty cool stuff. It is very touristy as well. In the Hotel California there, you see the Federales riding past the Hotel California. It's pretty nice. It's worth checking out while you go through there. But when you get up close to like Loreto, just on the south side of Loreto, there's a lot of riding around Loreto. The mountains around Loreto are awesome. We're coming back through the mountains here on our way into Loreto. You got pretty tall mountains on the left, and then you got Sea Cortez on the right. It's pretty nice. But it's a spectacular ride just south of Loreto, coming through the mountains. The coastal ride is pretty spectacular. There's a nice pull-off spot there south of Loreto. It's nice, it's beautiful. It's all right there. We got a room in Loreto. Some people don't like Loreto. They say it's too big. Some people say it's too pricey. You know, small town people don't really care for it. I don't mind it. It's pretty historical. There's a lot of stuff. There's a mission in the middle of it. We stayed at this hotel here. It's a pretty popular one. I think it's the highest rated at the cheapest price. I think we paid like just under 80 bucks to get in, but it's pretty full and it's pretty popular. I've had trips where we tried to get in there and we couldn't get rooms there. But it's all right, it's nice. But it's right on the ocean and it's nice.
Hey, look out there.
Morning. And I met these guys. I gotta get a shot. These guys also recognized me from YouTube. They were super cool. You existed. I forget where they're from. I want to say Monterey Bay in California. They were on Harleys, running around, having a good old time. And this is the mission in the middle of Loreto. Of course, I had to pull my motorcycle up there and get a shot, and it's pretty cool. This is one of the 5 most popular missions to check out. I forget what it's called. It's the Loreto one, and it's in the middle of town. It's about 3 blocks from the hotel that we stayed at. Like outside of Loreto, there's a lot of good riding. And we did the San Francisco Javier mission. They call it San Javier. And it's like a 35-mile ride, I think, up the mountains. And it's pretty cool. The old guys on the Harleys warned us about the water crossing. They basically said stay in the middle because they went over by the rocks because it was kind of deep and they were worried about trying to get in the shallowest spot. And they got in the moss and they had a hell of a time just picking the bike up. So they warned us, just ride where the cars ride across, because they clean the moss off. So me and Dan didn't have any problem, but it was nice to get the advice and information. But it's a spectacular ride up the mountain, and you cross these water crossings multiple times. I'm not much for going in these places, but I think the architecture and I think what these people were doing, what, 400 years ago, 500 years ago? Is pretty cool. This is a olive tree, 400-year-old olive tree that was brought back out. It's an enjoyable ride. It's worth checking out for sure. San Javier, just south of Loreto. Hola amigos, gracias. This is the mission in Mulegé, and it's pretty cool too. It's not as big and spectacular and grandiose as the other ones, but it's pretty cool. Of course, it's set up on natural water. This river that comes out, this big oasis, all these palm trees. Pretty cool. It took us a little bit to find it, but once we found it, like, we walked to the back and you can see the oasis. We decided to do whales again. We had a pretty good experience the first time. We just didn't have a bunch of them like letting us touch them. It's basically just a female and her baby. So we stayed at Hotel Cowboy. They have the whale tours. They bring you in a bus and stuff. It's decent hotel for 50 bucks. Like, there's tacos right by there, but you see they farm salt out here. It's one of their biggest exports, I believe. We tried to go early in the morning, but it was a little later. I think by the time we got on the boat, it was like 10, and it was a little windy. So when it's windy, they just don't want to get close to the boat. But I prefer this place for the whale experience. I always try to stay there at Cowboys. On one of the trips, we booked the whale tours at the Cowboy for $55, Hotel Cowboy, but we stayed at another hotel and we just rode our bikes down there and met them in the morning. I prefer like doing it that way with Hotel Cowboy because it's just, they take you to the better place. It's a better experience. I mean, we saw some action stuff, but not any really close enough to the boat to touch any. Mucho gracias, amigos. But we had to go to Bay of LA. The trip just wouldn't be complete without taking them to Bay of LA. I really like Bay of LA. It's pretty cool. It's pretty beautiful. There's not like a lot out there. Some restaurants and some hotels. A little bit of riding, but
It's straight south.
yeah.
You just go through Mexicali and then up along the Salt or whatever.
Yeah. That's usually what I do, but to meet him, I was like,
Yeah.
so we're gonna go back to Cate. We're gonna go through like Catavina and what is it, Coyote Cows and
Coyote Cows.
Ensenada, and then make our way up to Cate.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, my plan is to stay on this side.
We met this gentleman, like 60 years old. He's doing a Cabo run on his KTM 500, loaded up with camping gear, and just talking about routes and stuff, trying to get information. I want to do it. Makes me want to get my small bike down there bad. But this hotel is affordable. I think we paid $50 for it, and it was decent. Right on the water and everything. Like, I really like Bay of LA. I think it's pretty cool. And I like the restaurant that's down there. A lady makes pizzas and all kinds of good stuff. It's a little Americano, a little gringo food in the Baja. Yeah, we made the split. We were going up the west side, and we had to get gasolina from the guy because he saved my ass before. So we're putting a little money in his pocket right there in Catavina. The landscape and everything around Catavina is just spectacular. If you watch Itchy Boots, she just did the Baja Rally down there, and it's all around Catavina, and there's some spectacular tracks she was on. And it was cold with me and Dan, so I had to break out my winter gloves, insulated gloves from Sedici. The link's in the description. But just on the west side and the south part of it, it's spectacular. It's a good motorcycle ride. Some of the best motorcycle riding you're gonna do. And chicken, pollo, like that, when you see that on the side of the road being grilled, like I'm all over it. It was good, and we got some. But the west side is very different than the east side. There's not a lot of towns and stuff, but when you get on the west side, you get up by the Pacific Ocean, and you get into the small towns. As you start moving further up north on the west side, you get into more green, the wine fields. We had to go to Coyote Cows. It's the premier motorcycle hostel. He's got a cool setup here, Rick. You have to go and check him out if you go through the area. A lot of people came by on Dual Sports, but he's got a bar, nice drinks, good cool drinks, nice setting. She cooked dinner for us. We had spaghetti. It was spectacular. It was really good, and it was a lot. They have these big meals, big dinners, and they're awesome. But it's a cool little facility. It's like a bunk. I think $30 for a bunk. right on the water. You can hear the seals and watch the sunset.
Yeah, a bunch of dual sport guys coming in.
Have good conversations.
These guys were riding dirt bikes now, small bikes, 450s and KTM 500. And I liked what they were doing. This guy brings people down. He runs the pace that he likes to run, and you know, which is fast.
Yep.
And they're covering a lot of ground on all these trails out to Kate, you know. But day 2 for them is Coyote Cow. So. This is your first time down here. You could have rode down by yourself, but your old lady wanted you to come down with somebody. But tell everybody what Baja's like for your first time.
Baja is awesome. It's completely safe. I've never felt worried or concerned about anywhere we've been, and we've covered all the way from the border to Cabo and back.
Cabo, we didn't even have any trouble really, did we?
Nope. Met some nice people. Everybody's wanting to help you. You know, we've helped a few ourselves, so it's just the way it is in the motorcycle community, and everybody down here likes motorcycles.
Would you come back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
If I could lose my job today, I would stay here.
All right, we're leaving. See you, suckers. Hola, amigos. Thank you. This is a lot of fun. You know, we didn't spend a lot of time in Ensenada because we were on our last day, and see the cruise ship there. Ensenada's pretty cool. Some people don't like it. It's big city stuff, but for me, I'm from Vegas. I don't, you know, it ain't big to me. But it's a lot of fun. But, you know, the border can be iffy, so we headed to the border to make sure we could get across in one day because he needed to make it to Long Beach, which is like 200 miles or just under 200 miles. And I wanted to get him across the border and be able to make sure he did that without having any trouble, so. We made our way across, you know. The wine country and everything, and the landscape out to Kate is spectacular. It's good riding. I need to get some off-road going, but that's coming. I'm gonna get my little bike down there for sure. That was fun. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Did I do all right for you?
Yep.
Would you recommend me?
Yep.
Good answer. I had fun. I don't know that I'll have anybody as enjoyable as you, but it's a good one.
Yep. Can't wait to go back.
Yeah, I know. I want to come back too.
Yeah, you get to come back.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Yeah, you too. Be safe.
Safe flight, all that good stuff.
Yeah, safe trip home.
Tell your wife thanks.
Yeah.
I'll catch you later.
Yep.